Good morning, everyone, and I'm back with Saee Small Steps episodes. So, in the last episode, we were learning about one subtle food, which is fasting, right? And actually, that subtle food is space, but we incorporated space using fasting technique. Today, I thought of talking more about another subtle food, which is extremely important, and that is fire. Okay, and to incorporate fire in our life, one of the very important and effective technique is exposing our body to the sun rays or natural sunlight. Okay, so sun bathing or sun basking. Now, I have heard it from my mentor and I can really resonate with it. What is the hierarchy of these subtle foods? So, let us revise it once. Okay, whatever we cannot do, whatever our bodies cannot do through earth food. What is earth food? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? The food that we consume from the plants. Whatever is the limitation of the earth food, it can be done by the water food. Whatever water food cannot do, air food can do it. Whatever air food cannot do, fire can do it. And whatever fire cannot do, space can do it. So you see the hierarchy from earth to space. So today let us talk about fire or sunlight or sun energy. Now, when I look back while growing up, I used to be in the swimming pool 5 to 6 hours a day, being a competitive swimmer, right? And then what used to happen is we used to always practice later in the afternoons, like 9 to 12, because that time the swimming pool used to be quite empty. And invariably, I used to get tanned so much, in April and May, before we used to end school in March, and by the time school used to get open in June, nobody used to recognize me because I used to turn into all this black color. My skin used to really get changed in the color, and somehow with my understanding about color and beauty and all that, how I started looking at it is, after growing up, after I stopped swimming, I used to go in the shade. If we are walking and if there is sun outside, I will carry umbrella, or I will try to hide myself from the sun, or I'll go and stand in a shade. So that is how I started looking at sunlight, okay, when I was young. And then what happened is, during this nature cure camp that I attended, I really could experience what it feels like to expose each and every body part to sun energy during sunbathing, right? So that is the time when I actually experienced sunbathing and its benefits. And from that time, there is no looking back. Every day, I make sure, it is like I cannot survive without sun. And what happens is, we take it for granted. We feel that, oh, it's okay, I'm going out in the sun, I'm running in the sun in the morning, I'm going to drop my child to school, and that's how I'm getting my sun exposure. But that is not sufficient. Okay, and it is so important to expose our body to sun nowadays. There are many reasons. Few reasons that can come to my mind. This, first and foremost, is digestion. Everyone has recognized, acknowledged that when sun is out, our digestion is the best, right? And that's how we have this intermittent fasting window of eating 12 to 8. People are following circadian rhythm, body clock, everything runs around the sun. Okay, so digestion improves when you expose your body to sun. The second important thing is respiration. You may have experienced that in this gloomy weather, like how we have in Bangalore for last few weeks, generally respiratory problems go up, sinusitis, asthma. Okay, so sun exposure can bring respiratory problems down. Then skin health. Many skin related diseases, I have seen it with my eyes, they disappear when you scientifically expose that part of the body. Scientifically means by following correct precautions. If you expose it to sun, then your skin diseases can also disappear. Another thing is mental health. We know that when we are in this gloomy weather, how it feels mentally. So the happiness quotient kind of goes down when we are not exposing our body to sun. So like this, there are so many other benefits of exposing our body. And of course, everybody is talking about vitamin D nowadays. So the best and natural way to get vitamin D is by exposing our body to sun. And only when you have vitamin D in your body, your calcium is going to get absorbed. Okay, irrespective of what you consume, how much calcium you consume, if you don't have vitamin D, it is not going to get absorbed in the body. right? So all these are benefits of sunbathing. Now the question is how to do it. Okay, so there are various ways. If you don't have bandwidth in a particular day to do sun bathing, you can always go for sun basking. Okay, so what is sun basking? You can just go and sit out in the sun, and maybe you can continue doing your chores. Okay, maybe you are cleaning the vegetables, or maybe you are gardening, or you are reading a book, or you are having your morning alkaline juice. Whatever you want to do, you can sit in the chair with minimum clothes, white color clothes if possible, and that is sun basking. But I would suggest that at least 3 days a week we should try to do sun bathing, and other days if you don't have time you can go for sun basking. So how sun bathing should be done? Generally during sunrise or sunset, if you do sunbathing, it is very pleasant and beautiful experience. You can very well do sunbathing at 12 o'clock noon. Okay, but then you won't enjoy that. You will start sweating within a minute of going out, and we want to really enjoy the experience of sunbathing, right? So the main rule to remember is we are not looking for heat of the sun, more for light of the sun. Okay, and how long you should do sunbathing? So this is the process. You have your mat outside where you have exposure to sun, if possible with minimum clothes or no clothes. Okay, so when you attend these nature care camps, you can actually experience real sunbathing like how all other animals do in the nature without wearing any clothes, because they generally have these chambers where they don't have the roof, and it's separate for men and separate for women, and then you can freely do sunbathing. That is the best way to do it. If you can get that structure built on your terrace in your home, where you have this structure made of metal rods, and then you can just tie a green net, the green net cloth you get which you use for gardening, also for the plants, right? That you can wrap around and you can freely do sunbathing, even though if you are in cities. Okay, it can be done. So it can be arranged if you just plan ahead. If you don't have that luxury, if you don't have a terrace where you can get this structure built, you find out a room in your house where you can open the window and where direct sun rays are entering. It can be in the morning time, it can be in the evening time, during sunset time also. And you have to directly expose your body to sun rays. You are inside your house, so there is very less possibility of people peeking in what is happening, and inside the house you can just lock the room and you can do this sunbathing. Or if this is also not possible, but you have access to terrace or balcony, wear minimum clothes, white color or light color clothes, and lie down on your back. How long? Till you feel that your body is sufficiently comfortably heated up. So this is very, very relative. That's why there is no fixed time, that 10 minutes I want to do sunbathing or 15 minutes you should do sunbathing. No. Some days if the the rays are not very harsh, it may take 15 minutes for you to feel lightly heated up. Right? Once that happens, you turn around, lie down on your abdomen, back part of your body, nicely expose it to sun rays. Again, when you feel comfortably heated up, you have to come in. Right? You cannot do sunbathing for more time. Over sunbathing is also harmful because nerve ends get extended, and that is not a very good idea. Sometimes initially, even I used to feel, I have little backache, so let me just be in the sun. I'm feeling like somebody is nicely massaging my back, but that's not a good idea at all. And initially, when you are not used to this type of sunbathing, it's always a good idea to wrap a cold towel or wet towel, room temperature, around your head, because we want our head to be cooler than feet, right? We don't want head to get heated up. So cover your head and then do sunbathing like this every day. Now, sometimes when it is rainy season, when it is winter season, we may not get access to actual sun rays or heat of the sun, but that is perfectly fine. Even sunlight is what we are looking at, right? Even trees are growing when there is no sun heat, but when there is light. So you can just go and expose yourself to the light that you have of the sun. So don't worry if there is no heat. And the best part when it comes to vitamin D is vitamin D gets stored in our body. So it's okay some days you don't get that much sun rays that you are expected to get, okay, because body is anyway going to store vitamin D. So I want to conclude by saying that do not take sun as granted. Because of our lifestyles, we are losing the opportunity. We are working inside the house, inside the offices, work from home. So we are losing the opportunity to go out and get the sun energy. So add this very, very important practice in your daily routine. Morning, after your yoga is done, after your alkaline juice is done, you can just go and expose your bodies to sunlight. Right? If you have any questions about sunbathing and sun basking or anything related to this, feel free to send me the questions and I'll answer them in the next episode. Bye bye. Have a great Sunday, everyone, and see you next Sunday. Thank you, Shravan. Thanks, Seema.